Hey, welcome to the world of programming. So today you're going to be introduced to JavaScript. Now, instead of having you go through the hassle of downloading something like Visual Studio Code straight onto your computer or some other compiler, we're going to work straight through the web. So if you go to this site, you can see it's just repl.it, Replit. And if you go right on over to this plus button and you click it, it'll bring up all the different languages you can program in. I've programmed in Python, Java, C++, and a lot of other ones. But today we're going to be working in JavaScript. So let's just type that guy right in and we'll create a REPL. Now I've organized the lesson for today, so I'm just going to go over to a different tab I've already opened up in Replit. Now the first thing is, how does code actually get read? Well, the nice thing is it's read exactly how you and I read a book. A program is going to go through and a compiler is going to read it one line at a time from top to bottom. So first it'll read line 1, then line 2, then line 3, then line 4, then line 5. So it's no different than the way that you read a book, but you need to make sure it's written in that order. Just like in a logical statement in an essay, if you wait to mention something down at the bottom but expect the reader to know about it earlier, they're not going to have known that you've written about it farther down in the essay. A computer's no different. It needs to know ahead of time. So it's going to read top to bottom. The next thing is a statement. So you have to build structure so the computer actually knows what you're talking about. I'm going to give you an example in the form of storing data with what are called variables. A variable is really, just think of it as a box. It's somewhere that gets allocated memory in the computer, but it works the same way that you do with storing stuff in your garage. So we're going to use the keyword. It's called var. You see how it highlighted blue? It's very special. You can't spell it any other way. It has to be spelled var. Then you're going to say the name of the variable you want to create. In this case, we're just going to say my name. And so this is the name we'd write on our box in our garage. This would be Christmas of 2012, Halloween supplies from 2008. We need to know what the name of this box is, otherwise we'll forget. If we just named every single thing box in our garage, it would get really difficult to know, and we'd have to open up. Is this the infant clothing from 2007? Is this the Christmas box? It would be impossible to know. So instead, we give it names that we create. This blue one has to be written that way. The computer will expect it to be written that way. And then it expects some made up name, something that you create. In this case, we're just calling it my name. Then you'll do an equal sign. It's called the assignment operator. It's not equal because we're not saying that these things are equivalent, because the box is not equivalent to the things inside the box. Instead, we're saying we're putting something inside the box. And then we're just going to put some text. And text is denoted by either the double quotes with these guys or with the single quotes with these guys. It doesn't really matter. JavaScript typically defaults to the double, so we'll use the double. And then I'm just going to write Matt. And then to end any statement, we're going to use the semicolon. And it's just best practice to use the semicolon. Technically, JavaScript will be able to read it without the semicolon, but plenty of languages expect the semicolon, so just use it. JavaScript is just very beginner friendly. But in this case, we've now stored it, but we have to make sure we keep the syntax exactly right. You're going to need to structure it this way. If we structure it this way, the computer doesn't know what we're saying. If we structure it like this, again, the computer does not know what we're saying. It looks like it's saying, hey, put the box, if this were to be our Christmas supplies right here, Matt, we're saying, hey, make a box called Matt and put the box in it. It's obviously confused and it has no idea what you're trying to do. You always have to keep the right syntax. You create a box. You say that box has a label on it. We'll call it my box now. So you can see it can be changed to anything. And then inside of that, we're just putting Matt. Or we can put Xmas 2012 inside there. So this is our variable. So we talked about how code is read, top to bottom. We talked about statements. You have to follow an ordering. And I gave you a little bit of a hint on how variables work. In the next episode, I'm going to go over variables in a lot more depth, and then also the things we can put inside of our boxes or inside of our variables. So until then, see you next time. Adios.